gonna stay right where you had told us to stay, and we were looking for the person that had our sign, right? He just happened to have taken someone else back to the hotel, so he wasn't right there.
Gotcha.
So it was not even his fault. Like, he was just doing his job.
Right.
Yeah.
But these guys approached us, and they were clearly from another hotel, and you could see it on their shirts and stuff. And they were like trying to convince us to come out to the parking lot and demand the men. I'm not going to hold you. I was worried about the men. My mom's boyfriend is actually from the Congo and Uganda, and he told me like the men don't know no.
Yeah.
So you were worried about someone being taken advantage of.
Advantage of
Yeah.
and being spent, like, because I just felt like they were trying to get our money. So I was really worried about that, and that's actually what ended up happening, because they wanted a tip after they barely helped us at all.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I was really frustrated with that, and me and the man were kind of fussing, and he was trying to tell me like, oh no, this is Ghana, we are all family, all the hotels work together, and I was like, well, your shirt doesn't say the hotel that I'm going to.
Right.
I don't need to be speaking to you.
Yeah.
And so I even showed him the phone of what you saying. I was like, this is right here, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this says right here that this is what I'm supposed to wait for. That's not you.
We're here in Ghana, and I'm excited about this interview because I have a chance to talk to two young, you're Gen Z or?
I'm Gen Z.
I'm the last of the millennials.
You're the last of the millennials. And so we're about to have this conversation because they're here in Ghana. Is this your first time in Africa?
Mm-hmm.
First time leaving.
And I want to just get your perspective because you're
21.
21, you're 26, and walk it down for me. How'd you get here, and why'd you come, and what did you learn?
Well, so my mom, she's been wanting to go to Ghana for a while now. I'll say like about a year. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it's always been in her head. And she saw that clip that you posted about the beach. I think it was somewhere in Ghana.
Just the beach in Ghana.
Yeah, she loves the beach.
Let me know the beaches in Ghana.
Yeah, yeah, she loves the beach. And ever since then, I think it was just supposed to be her going on the trip, but she decided to add me in for my 21st birthday.
Okay.
So that was really cool. At first, I was a little nervous about going though, just because, I don't know, like I've only been, I don't know, I've never, I hate to say it, but I've never really thought about like my body and like my own person being in a whole nother country, you know, and like putting myself in that spot. Like I kept telling my sister, our bodies, like we're gonna be in Ghana, we're gonna be in a whole nother country. So yeah, I was trying to like mentally prepare for that. I'm still sort of in the middle of doing that too, and like taking everything step by step because everything is so different. But yeah, I was definitely excited. We stopped in Amsterdam for our first layover. That was pretty cool. And then the plane ride here, I guess it was pretty smooth.
Okay.
I didn't really like sitting in the seats, but
Too long.
yeah. And then we're about to do that again. And yeah, when we first got here, that was interesting because we knew that there was a van that was coming to pick us up.
And you all went out into the parking lot.
Yes,
Kind of way.
and it was really busy.
So we were gonna stay right where you had told us to stay, and we were looking for the person that had our sign, right? He just happened to have taken someone else back to the hotel, so he wasn't right there.
Gotcha.
So it was not even his fault. Like, he was just doing his job.
Right.
Yeah.
But these guys approached us, and they were clearly from another hotel, and you could see it on their shirts and stuff. And they were like trying to convince us to come out to the parking lot, and the man would be over there. And I was already really skeptical about it. And my main thoughts of coming here was worry about the men. I'm not going to hold you. I was worried about the men. My mom's boyfriend is actually from the Congo and Uganda, and he told me like the men don't know no.
Yeah.
So you were worried about someone being taken advantage of.
Advantage of
Yeah.
and being spent, like, because I just felt like they were trying to get our money. So I was really worried about that, and that's actually what ended up happening because they wanted a tip after they barely helped us at all.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I was really frustrated with that, and me and the man were kind of fussing, and he was trying to tell me like, oh no, this is Ghana, we are all family, all the hotels work together. And I was like, well, your shirt doesn't say the hotel that I'm going
Right,
to.
right.
I don't need to be speaking to you.
Yeah.
And so I even showed him the phone of you saying, I was like, you see this right here, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, this says right here that this is what I'm supposed to be waiting for. That's not you. Okay?
And he was like, okay.
A lot of things weren't adding up.
A lot of things weren't adding up, and I told him, I was like, yo, like, he was like, you can trust me. I'm like, no, man, you see this? Military. I don't trust nobody.
Right, because you do.
I don't trust nobody. So we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna mind our business.
Yeah.
And mind yours. And it was weird because we still ended up having to tip them, and I kind of wanted to know, like, what would happen if we didn't?
Nothing. I've had some encounters with people trying to strong arm tips.
Yeah.
And then I have to remind them, I tapped into my inner, I always say my inner Nigerian, and they leave me alone. I say, hey, so you tip when you want to.
Yeah.
But so you went through that whole experience. You finally made it to the room. You finally started getting out and about. So tell me about some of the other things in your journey here.
I mean, the Slave River, that was like big for me, for you guys too, but like that was big for me. Even like the walking barefoot part. And I actually didn't film anything while we were there. Like I've been taking videos and stuff of everything that we've done basically. But even the dungeons, but I'm not gonna post it. But I didn't film anything from the Slave River except maybe like we were walking back because I felt like it was such a personal experience for everybody that like I can't really explain it for them to understand.
Right.
At least not anybody that's not here with us.
Understood.
So I'm gonna like tell them about it. You know? But I haven't I'm not posting any of the dungeons. The only thing I posted from Elmina was the waves, with no explanation. So I know people are kind of confused, but I do want to tell them you're gonna just have to go.
Understood.
You're gonna have to go because it's a personal thing that's about to happen to you, and it's not for social media.
What did you tell me about what happened at Slave River? What was that? Why did that resonate with you so much?
Just the communicating with the ancestors part. At first I was nervous because it seemed like it was ritualistic to me, and I feared that a little bit. But it was nice. It was nice. It was freeing, honestly. And I felt like I had the permission that I usually am scared to do to talk to my ancestors. I felt like this is the time I can do that. Like I can finally do that. Because usually I feel like this seems super witchcrafty to me. But then I'm like, oh no, this is fine. This is how I yeah, it's just slightly formal.
Yeah, I'm already spiritual. Like my mom has always been sort of free spirited in a way. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sort of the opposite. In some way, I feel like I've already been communicating with my ancestors. I see a lot of synchronicity in everything that I do. So I really like going down. Well, I liked it, but I didn't. I wish I didn't have to do it.
Understood.
But I like going down to the Slave River and how we sang, and we put our affirmations and stuff on the leaves, and then released it into the river. That was really nice, and I like the fact that we could see the gold in the river, and that basically not everybody could come down to the river. It was sacred.
See those gold flakes right there.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really special. I like that. And I sort of already feel I don't know, the repercussions of doing that. And yeah, I'm excited to go back home to see the fruits of my labor.
I was going to ask you, why do you think people in your generations, because you're in two different generations, why do you think they should have this type of experience? And I mean, I know there's so much more, but I mean, why do you think, from what you've just shared to this point, why do you think it would be important?
Well, for me, Sankofa, right? Because I got my bachelor's at HBCU and I got my master's at HBCU. So a lot of my schooling was centered around African diaspora. It was a mandatory class to take pre-grad. And we would talk about these things and knowing the past so you don't make the same mistakes, right? So I feel like that's why these people my age, because if we're the ones that's going to save the world, right? We need to know what brought it down and how to not do that again. So yeah, and I think that just with the education system, we weren't taught these things.
So you weren't taught these things. We weren't taught these things. In the generation before us, we weren't taught these things.
If you went to college, or if you went to HBCU, I feel like you got a little bit of a taste of what it's like. Just
a little bit of a taste.
Just a taste, right? Because we watched this movie called Sankofa too, and it's really good. And I was shocked and completely forgot that. Oh yeah, of course I'm going to see that here.
Yeah.
This is where it's from. So, yeah, I think that we definitely need that just for grounding and understanding our purpose and being intentional with what we do when we move forward
Yes.
in our to save this world that we are now in charge of, that our generations are now in charge of.
Yeah. I was talking to someone else who was here, someone's grandfather, like Ronnie's dad.
Yes.
I was talking to him about the Slave River and the dungeons in general, and I was saying it's really intense, and I didn't expect to, like, when I thought about coming to Ghana, I thought it would be more like less touristy, I guess, you know, or not touristy, but I didn't know we were going to be doing like a lot of informational things
Right.
in a way. Because we've gone to the mall, we've gone to the canopy things, like we've done really like adventurous things, and I've been having fun. But I just didn't expect to be soaking in all this information. And
So you got like an education on top of all of the adventure and everything else.
Right, and I was telling him like it was really intense to be there, but I'm glad that I'm here and I'm able to share it with my friends. And someone was saying to like even if it's just an hour, 30 minutes to like share the information and stuff, because yeah, the stuff that I've seen I would have never imagined
You
it
didn't
was
know
like
all that
this.
was going on.
Yeah, because in school it was just slaves to America, and I don't like how they called them slaves and not like slave people. Enslaved people. Yeah, so I didn't know any of the before, and I really appreciated like the tour guides that were there.
Okay.
And I'll
let them know. Well, they'll be
yeah,
watching this.
yeah, and I noticed like at home maybe that is different from here, or at least on this trip, that I've never really had like a tour guide in a way, and I really appreciated that because yeah, I liked it.
What was something you talked about the intense information? What are some things that you take away from this that you go back to the U.S. with, and you're like that resonates with me, or one or two? Not that was a lot because it was a lot of information.
It was. I would say being in the actual inside of the dungeons. What did they call them? The cells,
The
like
cells?
specifically
Yeah,
for
the female holding cell, the male holding cell.
Yeah, that was a lot. They turned the lights off for some of them because they had lights for some of them.
Yes.
But even without the lights, or if the lights were on or off, like the smell in there, I feel like that was like a sensory thing that really enhanced like me realizing where I was. It didn't smell good, and you know it was vomit, pee, feces, blood, like flesh. Yeah, once they really ingrained that in us, I was like, wow, I'm here. So that made me have a lot more appreciation about just being here and myself. And when I go back home, I know I'm definitely gonna have more appreciation for just everything that I do, because yeah, it was really intense down there.
I didn't know like how many different like groups of people were involved in the enslavement of my people.
Yes.
I was only thinking, my brain was like white man. That's it. Period.
Right.
I did not take into consideration the white with some flavor, like the Dutch, the Portuguese. I did not in my brain like when they said that this one El Nino was like, I thought that was the Portuguese one.
That's Portuguese.
Exactly. And I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Yeah, that was interesting.
What do we do? You know? Because I was only thinking about just the white man, just regular like
British.
white, the British.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about everybody else with a little spice in it. Like they too were a part of that, and it was really frustrating. I'm still really frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, yeah, how am I supposed to? Like, I don't want to walk with resentment in my heart towards them. But it's like, what are you doing right now? If you are not actively doing something in order to undo all of the things that your ancestors did do, then I'm gonna look at you the same as I look at your ancestors. You know, and it's like, I can understand like they're taking responsibility, which seems like to be a hard thing for them. You know, because they're like, well, we didn't do it, it didn't happen. It's like, what you say your people did. Just say that. It's not like it's not true.
They're educated in the same system we're educated.
Yeah.
Do you think they know the gravity? Have they been to the dungeons? Do they really understand that we didn't know?
They don't know. They haven't been that far in it, right? But they also are not willing to take the responsibility for just the regular white privilege that they have right now. You know, I'm not asking you to like them to go to Africa. They're not going home. Honestly, I feel like they don't need to come, but you need to listen to us when we say something. Like if we say talk about it, you know, you need to take our word for it. You owe us that.
Now let me throw this back at you. What I've always found interesting is when I come to the continent, I see many Europeans here, but I see so few of us here in droves. I mean, I see them in East Africa, West Africa, Ghana.
Like all the people that we went to, they want us to come back. They were very welcoming and they wanted to teach us and we're open to learn. But like I had met other groups of like African people from different countries who don't want us to come back, don't want to share their culture and think that we are just some Akata.
I've heard that.
Those are the vibes that I've gotten in America from, you know, African people. So that turned me off from coming here for a little bit, made me nervous. That's why I'm still nervous to go to some countries because I know that that's how they roll.
So you have some ratchet, ghetto, black Americans that make you embarrassed to be like, I'm not one. Have you seen those types before?
Yeah. It's not a good representation of our people and what they do. So they probably have the same thing in Nigeria.
Right.
But I also have a lot of Nigerian friends. Well, not a lot. I have a couple Nigerian friends and they explaining to me how their childhood went and stuff. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because a lot of them are messed up now.
So they express the challenge that they face
when they were living.
So what makes it interesting is then even, let's say for example, that particular group in Nigeria, let's just use that as an example, which is very different from the people in Ghana. Because
very different.
So they're not even the same.
Right.
Different from the people in Cote d'Ivoire, in South Africa. So it sounds like we have a lot of work to do to even educate ourselves as far as the difference in the ethnic groups, because I've heard the same things. And I've heard some Nigerians push back, but I've heard some Nigerians say, look, this thing can be out of control within these families and how how abusive it can be.
Yeah.
So what do you think we need to do in order to balance this out so we understand the differences?
We would need to go.
Yeah.
We would need to go.
Yeah.
We would need to go. And we would need, but I don't know.
So you know she'll be on like a Nigerian trip where we put the Nigerian trip together.
I'm scared of going somewhere where I'm not wanted. Like I don't want to.
But how do you know you're not wanted if you haven't been there?
I don't know. I also, like even when I was in school, like undergrad, I went to Oregon, and there was a very large Nigerian population in Oregon, and they were not nice.
Okay, so those are the ones who are in America. That's Morgan. That's people.
They were all part of the program that came to.
Right, but what I've encountered is a difference when you come here. It's not necessarily the same. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
It's not the same.
Because there's even classes within those cultures. And there are classes within Ghanaian culture. It's just like uppity Negro.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I've
arrived.
Because black folks in America can be the same way. They will look, once they get a few things under their belt, now they want to look down on everybody else. So you have to think that if that's cultural, every culture has it. European culture. So could it be the same where you get the uppity Nigerian who thinks that they're better and then they think that they're better than the next?
I do know the ones that have come to America and they can afford to come to America and they got
a little money.
So that means they are the upper echelon of their communities. So,
But think about the uppity Negroes in America.
And
they come to and you're like, and you gonna say you Rico from round away, and switching up on us like this. So that's just a perspective. So I think you need to go.
I do. Also, though, right? Okay. The money part.
All right.
Right.
Oh, the hustle.
The hustle. Yeah. Like, I also felt like a lot that y'all really, the people that we saw outside of going on the excursions and going to Slave River and visiting the castles and stuff, outside of that, just
when they come up to you and bum rush you basically.
They were like, they're not happy about being here and learning about our culture and stuff. They just want my money.
Yeah, it seemed like they just wanted our money. I didn't like that.
I did not like that, and I do understand though that it could be a cultural thing of touching, they touching it, but I just could not handle that.
And that's real.
I had a meltdown.
That's real. But that's real, and I think it's important for you to be able to to share that. Because I tell people, I say this oftentimes on my channel, don't invite me to come, then overcharge me. And tell me, hey brother, welcome back, brother, and then overcharge me. And it's like, no, you just see me as money, and if that's the case, then let's put it on the table.
Yeah, and then guilt trip me for not giving anything. Like, oh, I'm your brother, you're not going to support your brother. And it's like, I probably was going to if you wasn't bad.
I would have spent all my money if it wasn't
If somebody just had the approach.
Yeah, they approached me differently, and if I said no, then it's okay, like, try something else, not try to continue to tell me the same exact thing. So it was giving off like, oh yeah, I just want you here because I want your money, not because I want your company or I want your your fellowship or I want to teach you about us. You know, so that kind of didn't feel welcoming. So I feel like it's like a groups of people, and I feel like as a country, those groups of people need to get with people,
right?
And then like, this is what we want, and so that when they do get us, it's like an easier transition.
Because cultural, it sounds like a melting pot of cultures. We've been through our experience. Most of them have not been educated about our journey, but then we don't know their journey. But it's like we are dealing with the same people who created, like what we see here, the same Dutch, French, British created the environment that causes them to hustle the way they do, which in turn, those same people cause us to go through what we've gone through. And we're 2 generations apart. So kind of heard me tell them why I was not going to give them anything. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that was good.
Right? But I also feel like I might need another trip in order to gain that type of patience because, like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, don't touch me. Like, and the military part of it too, is just the untrusting of anybody else that's not it. Like, that was working on me. That was working really hard. And, like, I was trying to, like, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but they were constantly, I was like, nope, I'm not doing it no more. Like, I just had to go to the market again for the last time, and I had already wrapped my mind around not going there again. And so the idea of going back, I was like, I'm not going to be that uncomfortable.
But people need to hear, they need to hear it. Because what I've had to tell people is that I just won't bring people if you're not going to respect the space and allow people the freedom to make a decision. And then again, but you know what, this is what I want to say, I'm proud of both of you because you're willing to do it. There's so many people twice your age that are not even
would have got back in the car.
Yeah.
Originally, because I was just waking up from sleep, and you know how you wake up, you're a little cranky. And I didn't know she had wanted to go back to the shops. I didn't know that.
Oh,
so
today.
Yeah, and just right then and there, I was
anxiety.
Yeah, I was nervous, especially because I thought it was just gonna be us 3. I appreciated you talking to Paul, and I know that you trust him, but even on the ride there, like he was telling us how to bargain and stuff, so I started to feel a lot better. It was more familiar, and I'll say, like, getting back in the car, I was like, okay, maybe I could do that again, but the bargaining, like, that's what I'm gonna take that back with me.
Oh, learn how to bargain everywhere.
Exactly, I like that. But I was nervous to go back there because I didn't want people to be on me and just bring stuff up to me.
Were they aggressive today? Not as aggressive.
Not as aggressive, but at the same time, I was expecting it. I knew what to expect. Yeah, and with everybody like telling us, like preparing us for what not to say. Like when we got out the van, we were at I forget which dungeon we were at. I think it was the first one, and.
Don't give your name.
Yes, they said not to give your name because they'll come back up with something with your name on it or something familiar. So don't give them any name. It's not your name. So that preparation was good. So I'm glad that we had you here and like everybody else who was like preparing us for that stuff. Because otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. It took off a lot of like the pressure that
you could have felt if you weren't prepared. I think cultural. This is one of the reasons why we have the trainings because it's cultural preparation because it's a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're coming in, because from our world we're used to everything being straightforward. Let me give you this, give you that. I'm talking about my business.
Yeah.
If I say no,
that's it. Yeah.
No means keep trying. Keep trying.
And that's what Freddie, our mom's with him, like that's what he said. That's what he told us. You know, he said that they're gonna continue even if we say no. And that never sat right with me. Like, even being here and coming here and realizing, like, yo, he really meant that. They really are going to continue.
Yeah.
And I'm so bothered by that because I just feel like, if you want me here, respect me enough to just listen to me. And when I say no, or at least try with a new item. Don't continue to try to sell me the same exact thing that I already said no for. So yeah, it was pretty hard. And but you said pack your patience and everything, and I was trying my best. Trying my best. But I was just like, I attitude. It just get full on attitude. So even in telling people no, by like the third day, I was like, I'm tired of saying no.
I just stopped saying. I just stopped and kept walking.
I'll be like, I said no. Okay.
Did it work?
Oh, not really, which also bothered me.
Right. So regardless, that's what I understood. Yeah. Regardless of what happens, like I'm leaving here today. I'm gonna leave. So
if you wanna do what we gotta do to leave,
No, like I was just, because I expected, I knew what to expect. Like, I knew that they were just going to keep trying. And for me personally, it got to a point where it's like, I'm not going to waste my energy saying no to you or trying to prove to you or explain myself to you, because I already know your mindset.
What'd you do? How did you adjust your mindset to match their mindset?
Air sign.
Because what? A lot. A lot of journaling, but no. I don't know, like, it got to a point I knew what they were basically going to say. I was prepared and everything. Even for her, like, with them touching you, I didn't see any of them touching you, but the fact that it got to that point, I didn't appreciate that, but I did notice that if I just kept my eye turned, like, they would leave you alone eventually. And like I said, like, I'm leaving here today. I'm not going to see you again, or I could see you again, but at the same time, I'm not going to give you that, because, no.
So the one thing, oh no, go ahead.
She's different, because, like, I found my pointer finger on somebody's forehead.
Yes.
I said, don't touch me. I said, don't touch me.
And what did he say?
And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. But no.
At that point, he was
then somebody, right after that, somebody went to, and I was like that, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, be sorry, because you're not going to.
So, but that's good, but it's good that you all are sharing this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because what will end up, and I've said this, what will end up happening is people won't go to those areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it won't hurt them.
Yeah, I do think that, like, I like her idea, like, just keep your head down, keep focused, tunnel vision, get to the door, and I think a lot of the reasons why I still was messed with is because I was not heading towards the door. I was not.
Because they know they could, it's like the person that can mess with you, they'll still. Because my thing is, if I say nope, that's it, I keep moving.
Yeah.
I kept stopping.
Oh.
Because I was looking for my mother. Right? So every time I stopped, it was like, if I had just kept going, I probably would have been fine.
Yeah. Really, anywhere I went, I noticed. And that's what I picked up. I was like, if I just keep going, then they'll go to the next person.
And the next person, because really, in essence, you are an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You're surviving.
Right. I appreciate the hustle, though. Because they were ready to go for anybody. It didn't matter if they were, just nobody really begged me for money. They were selling something. But the fact that, like, we were riding down the streets, everybody has something on their head. Everybody, like, they were basically selling the same thing, but everybody, all day. It didn't matter what time. I like that, and the fact that, I didn't really like the fact that you said no, and then they would keep going, but just the hustle in that way, like they were just going to keep doing whatever they had to do.
So there's a lesson in that.
Yeah.
So there's a lesson in that. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're going to reach somebody who's willing to.
Yeah, like there's no harm in asking. What you can get is enough. Right. This is what it seems like.
And then if they run into you at the wrong time, they're going to get a finger in the head.
They're going to get a finger in the head. Like I said, don't touch me, sir. I don't know why you did not hear me the first time. And I don't know what about me makes me look like you can touch me. And that, I'm not going to lie.
They might have sensed, because they sense certain things.
Yeah.
And they might have sensed that they could trigger, that response.
Yeah.
Without really understanding what,
So, as far as, like, even today, right, I wanted to come back in and change my clothes before we went to the
Right,
market.
I remember.
I put my whole shirt on.
Very feminine. I felt really curly. I felt, like, pretty, right?
Gotcha.
And I did not feel safe feeling that pretty.
In that space.
In that environment. Right? I needed to go get sneakers. I needed to go get my bag. And my bag is a military bag. Like, it was very much, like, just imagine what could be inside of here, you know. And I was purposeful in that when I got it before the trip. So I was like, because I usually have a big one, right? And I was like, no, I still need something that has it on there to know, like, please don't mess with me. You know, please, I don't want to be like.
But was it a deterrent?
That's what I was curious about too.
You think so?
I do believe it because when we went, like today, right? If I had gone there and looked with what I was wearing, it would have been more of the.
Yeah.
But when I got out of the car, and that's all you see.
So you had your jeans on? Or?
I had my book bag on my front.
So
if you're looking at me,
you turned on kind of like a dude kind of vibe.
Yes,
more masculine.
More masculine.
Yeah, I brought my sweatshirt with me. I brought a shirt with me.
And then kind of switched it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we were gonna get like less attention, basically.
Did that work?
And take it seriously. I said, well, people were, when I said no a bunch of times today, like I always said no to this once to the same person, and they stopped talking.
Yeah.
Right, but that's also I had pinched eyebrows and like that clear attitude, like don't talk.
And I did notice. I don't know if this is like a real thing, but the majority of these days, like I brought clothes that I would feel comfortable in back at home. I was wearing less clothes. I wear like long pants anyways, and like that's what I do. But I did bring some shorter things, like less clothing. It's hot outside. I was prepared for that, but at the same time, I was also prepared to be more comfortable so that I could like stand in my position and, you know, just in case anything, anything did happen. But I did notice like the majority of the days that we've been here, I haven't been wearing clothes that I would like at home, which would be pretty much less, especially because it's warm outside. But I noticed that I feel like they sort of tried to talk to her more. I had my hair up some days just because I felt like that sort of masked me in a way and didn't like made me less approachable. It could have or it could have not, but I did feel more protected when I was like covered up more, and yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's thinking about with all of those collective experiences? Would you tell them not to come?
No, yeah, I would say come. And today,
even with all of that?
Yeah, I would. Exactly. Because
somebody could be thinking.
Just gave you the directions. Come. Like,
right.
Keep your head forward.
Right.
Don't be too pretty. Don't be too cute. Because you're gonna look like they can.
But at the same time, like today, I wore it's like a halter top. It's something. I haven't been wearing the last couple of days. I've just been wearing regular t-shirts. And that's something I'm more comfortable in, just to like express myself. But yeah, and we were in more of like a closed area, more like cookout vibes and everything. Right. So that could have helped. But I would say to still like wear stuff that you're comfortable in. I wouldn't try to mask yourself as much unless you feel comfortable wearing more stuff like that. But yeah, especially after doing that today and being here for a while. It's not really that long, but it's a lot longer than I've ever done. Yeah, I would say that if we were staying for longer, then I would be more comfortable in wearing whatever I wanted to wear.
Understood.
Because
in the Bird Gardens, though, like you said, it was a different environment, right? If it wasn't like not being sold something on the street compared to just being people, having a good time, having a picnic, having.
So it was two different environments.
It was two different
it
environments,
was.
and I appreciated that because it's like, okay, this is how it's like normally. Like it's not always somebody trying to sell something. Not always somebody trying to get my money.
But you know what's interesting? It kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier about the different ethnic. Those are different. Like one group of people,
right?
Like this,
Yeah.
Another group is like this. So
like at home too.
So
that's
give the Nigerians a little break.
I don't know. It's just like all of the ones that I've met, except for like my
But I know some uppity black folks.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes they make me so ashamed. Sometimes you're like, oh, why y'all doing this to me? You know.
Yeah.
So all right. So go ahead.
It's just like. I don't know. I was having like a identity crisis before I got here, right? Because I know like my people are actually from Nigeria, the Hausa people, right? And like, but all of the experiences I've had with like Nigerians, just not like.
But they're not all Hausa. They're not all Hausa.
I know. No. They were people I get the most flack from is people, but like, that's what I was just so upset for the past couple of years that I didn't have like a culture to call my own. Like we have black culture, absolutely, and I love black culture.
But even that's diverse.
But that is not that's how we figured out and got through it.
Right.
Black culture. Black culture is not something that is like given to us. We had to, that was us making it
Right,
work.
it's adaptations to all the
Exactly.
different
Exactly. That was us making it work. It did not. It was not cultivated from like oh, no.
It was almost like an
had to.
experiment. It was like,
Yeah.
but after, based upon what they
It's like
created, and then it morphed into what we now
into
know.
what is black culture, and that was not on purpose. It was out of survival.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted a culture that I could like sing and dance. I used to compare it like to the what was it called? They're like Polynesian people, and they have like these dances, and they have this. They're so welcoming that they do this dance called the haka. And I was always thinking,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I wish that, like, you know, my people would want to come and teach me how to dance and do that. And it's like
The ones that you've come across.
the ones that come across, they don't want any of that. They don't want to do anything.
You need to hang out with some house people then.
True.
See, because when you because think about it like this, even Nigeria, the borders of Nigeria were created by Europeans.
No, that's
So
also
even
sad.
so when you even think about Nigeria, it's not even indigenous.
Yeah.
You know, even Ghana, even though the Ghana Empire, but the Ghana Empire was somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when you start breaking it down, it's like you start looking at it through the eyes of different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
And so we got to get you to Nigeria and have you hang out with some house people.
Probably have.
And we need to have you hang out with some Yoruba and some Igbo and everybody and see how they flow in their space. And then, so that's the goal, everybody. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So ladies, look, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Because this
Madasi.
experience, listening to you, is a part of how we break the walls down. And I appreciate how candid you've been with your experience. And now, whoever's watching now, you know what to do when you go to the market, how to handle it. But don't run from the market, you know?
Don't.
Because you can get really good deals if you
Right.
bargain the way
And really beautiful things.
and really
Yeah.
beautiful things. And bring your tums, prepare your body, right, before you come here. I'm talking
And
like,
during.
And during, like you need to cleanse, you need to have like a fresh palate because
Take your
this
vitamins.
food is going to hit you in a way that you are not expecting. Because it tastes good.
It seems like no matter what you eat at this point.
No matter what you eat, you're eating like rice, and that's going to do something different in your stomach. So, you know, prepare
You'll be
yourself.
okay, but just
And that's real. That's talking to 21-year-old, 26-year-old, they give you the real. It is the truth.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I want to see more young folks come on these tours.
Yeah.
Because what you're able to do is to process it for yourself. You heard their experience, now you have your experience. And then you don't go your whole life just taking it from someone else. Now you know, and then what happens is you're able to create your own narrative. And then you can share that, and then you can continue to create narratives by exploring even more. There's so much here for you on this continent, whether it's in Ghana, whether it's other countries. But we invite you to find out what we have going on. Check out MaximumImpactTravel.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow this channel. Check us out on Facebook. You can follow me personally at JCameronOfficial on IG. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere on the continent of Africa. And you all are going to Nigeria. That's the bottom line.
And Tanzania. I want to go
see you there.
I want to go to Tanzania so bad. I want to see the animals, the safari.
Well, so we have all of that for you.
Yeah.
Safaris and animals and
Safari.
everything.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we're going to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa, in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do. And as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation. And they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa. And they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the adventures of Darren and Destiny.